Welcome to the Big Biz Show.
Taking care of business.
You want fast-talking, hard-hitting discussions on business and finance? Maybe with a barroom slant and some really salty peanuts? We're not counting calories. We're counting cash. Before we get to the man with the financial plan, meet the money team. Costa, Mary, and Greg. Now Captain Finance himself, Sully.
Wherever you are watching, wherever you're listening, welcome to another episode, another edition of the Big Biz Show. Of course, the gentleman up on the stage, you see the very talented day trader trio. Here at the bar, Costa, Mary Godwin, of course, our executive producer is Greg Todorov, and Sully.
Hey, what's my birthday?
June.
I didn't ask you.
Sorry.
What's my birthday? God, woman, lippy, got a mouth, she likes to run it. What's my birthday?
It's June 9th,
No,
right?
I give you the.
I have no idea your birthday. What's your birthday? What's my birthday?
Oh, okay.
July 9th.
No, wrong. What's
July
my birthday?
8th.
Does everyone know Mary's birthday month?
Oh, we've only heard it about 1,000 times.
Hence. So I know.
You know, it's my birthday
But do you
month.
know the exact day?
Who does it? It's every day other than the one day. It's all year.
March
this month.
22nd, 1940.
Celebrating the 35th anniversary of her 30th
Off
birthday.
by one day.
It's March
and 1 year.
21st.
Yes.
Yeah, but you have talked incessantly about how it's your birthday month.
Love
want
my
to-
birthday month.
Well, you deserve birthday.
Do you know why?
For the year you've gone through, you deserve birthday month.
Thank you. That's true.
But it's not just this year.
Yeah.
I
It's
know.
every year.
Thank
You know
you.
what?
Okay, excuse me. I had a relationship with someone who had a birthday in September, and it was Libra season. It's from the start of September. Now, and you are a.
I'm Aries, but I'm on the cusp of Pisces and Aries. But here, okay.
You're an
Let me
Aries.
tell you something. I love March because it's spring. My birthday is the first day of spring, and
Yeah, hold
it
on.
represents
I got
the new time change, more sun, more flowers,
Thank you,
spring is in the
Aphrodite.
air.
think this much about it. I'm like, you know, I think
Obviously, she's put a lot of thought to this.
this is the rest of us. It's Tuesday. Free drinks today. That's it.
It's dance comp season for my kids. There's a lot of fun things happening.
My God, I forgot
I have a lot
about
of travel.
that.
I'm going to New York. I'm going to
Are you-
Santa Clara. I've got a lot of fun things happening.
Here's my concern.
Yeah.
There's a lot of birthday talk. Are you lamenting this birthday because there's a little more talk, a little more chatter this year than normal?
No, I'm not. It's not a big one necessarily. It's just, here's the funny thing is I build it up and then on the actual day I get embarrassed and I don't really want to talk about it.
Right.
Oh, I
just
want to kill myself if you do that this year. You need to come
I'm
in with
not
a
gonna be
tiara.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not.
I'm gonna
you're
be
not
on
gonna be on
Friday.
TV that day.
No, I'm going to be in Santa Clara at a dance competition.
We're gonna tape a show
Steaming
as if it's
costumes.
your birthday.
But 63 is just such a strange. It's like
The tweener.
it is a
Look at even
tweener.
Brian Jordan was like, oh, ouch.
That's brutal.
No, you're right. You deserve a birthday month for as much as you do for everybody around here, and I give you that. But could you just shut up about it? That's all I wanted. That's all I'm asking.
Nope, now I'm going to talk more about it. I need a hat. Where's the birthday
Mary,
hat?
what do you want for your birthday?
Peace and
so
quiet from
this
you,
is-
Jack Wagons.
Do you hear? Say first of all, she's looking. Did you hear the first reaction? Is she's so excited for her birthday every day for the last minute? Now, whatever. Really, oh,
What don't I want?
I gotta
I want a
recover.
shopping spree. I want.
What do you really?
Deserve.
If you could wave a magic wand with reason.
See, I don't think about it because I don't really get, as the mom, and I'm divorced, so I don't have a husband buying me anything.
Here we
I'm not
go,
trying to
ladies
feel-
and gentlemen.
Maybe
800,
every day.
600 big biz. 800, 600 big biz.
A hot date. I don't know. No, I just want peace and quiet and
Are you looking for a man?
shopping
Are you looking
spree.
for a man for your birthday?
No, a year and a half away from that, probably.
'Cause Mike
When
looked
the
at me-
kids are out of the house. I don't have time for them.
But don't look at him because Mike,
you
Mike looked at me and said, "Man, I feel like a woman." In the words of Shania Twain.
Oh, you know what I want? I do know.
And it has
I got
nothing
it.
to
What do you
do.
want?
Beyonce tickets.
Beyonce tickets.
Yes.
All right. When is Beyonce?
In May 4th.
Okay.
She's
Can you
coming
play
here.
Can we give you, in the meantime, something close?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go. Yeah. Hold on.
All right.
Hold on.
I wanna. I wanna.
That is amazing. 63 years old, ladies. wherever you're listening, a big old howdy to you as the Big Biz Show rolls on.
Wait a minute. I gotta write this down.
Howdy to ya. Have you ever heard that phrase before?
A-T-Y. A boaty.
Customer Godwin. Our executive producer is Greg Todoroff. And of course, shadowed up behind the bar is Sully.
Oh my God, when did this become?
I don't know.
Well, all the great
This
ones
is my
have
sister/fiance.
all the great ones have a sign off.
Thank you.
A big old howdy to
Nike
you.
has a
Big old howdy to you.
And of course, the sign on is welcome to our family stick.
Pretty much.
125 million TV homes strong. 125 million TV homes strong in the
Wow.
U.S., of course. We're
Wow.
on BizTV and American Life Network, and of course, nationwide coast to coast on radio and American Forces Radio Network in 175 countries and all the 50 states. Let's not forget Bloomberg El Financiero, and of course, Bloomberg EU coming up sometime after I retire from television. Who do we got in the air today, buddy?
Mr. Dan Yates is the CEO of Endeavor Bank, and of course their ticker symbol is EDVR. And for the record, my family tree is a wreath, not a stick. Okay?
I love it.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What's up, Sol? What's going on?
Oh, there's no branches on that.
You know, when Mike texted me, say, hey, I can't come tonight, I'm watching Game of Thongs. I knew there was a problem.
Why does this show digress so often?
Because he
quickly.
Because
Who is in charge
Mike
here?
hasn't had his Funyuns and Bako bits today.
Mary,
I apologize.
Mary, that's
Half
a
of
matter
these.
of perspective, by the way. Some would say it has progressed.
Because Dan's here, it's high bar now.
That's right.
Dan, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Let's talk about Endeavor Bank. You guys rank top 5 in the nation for the most PPP loans relative to your bank size. Now,
I'm still recovering from.
well, I was going to say that is not as much a function of money as a function of execution.
Stamina. 20-hour days.
This is like saying to
on
everybody,
week, yeah.
Wow.
come here for your free money, just fill out an app.
Good God.
And suddenly, you had regular clients, you had regular underwriting, you had regular investments, you had regular meetings, and then you had a line out all the way to Yuma.
PTSD is what comes to mind.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That was a day that it seemed like every business in America needed a loan at the same exact time, and it was panic. I remember pushing through those loans at 2 or 3 in the morning, and you think everyone was asleep. You'd hit send to tell them they got the loan approved, and they're on the phone calling you saying thank you.
Wow.
And it wasn't so much like a typical loan, it was gratitude with tears, saying you just saved my business. So it was humbling.
Was there,
Yeah.
I've always wondered this, and you don't have to get specific about it because I know you're CEO of a public company. Was there a business model inside of that? Was that?
100%.
Oh, there was. So
Oh, yeah.
for you guys, it was profitable?
It ended up being very profitable, $10 million to the bottom line.
How so? How did that work? Because were you getting fees from the government to process?
were.
Obviously, it was a nominal fee because
Yeah, and it was
government.
inversely related. So the smaller the loan, the more you made.
Really?
5%. The interesting thing is you were building the model while the government was changing the rules day by day.
Yeah.
So I would spend my mornings on podcasts educating the business world how to apply and what the rules of the road were. And at night, I would read the new rules, which made my podcast obsolete by the next day.
Can I tell you, as a
Same.
as a studio owner, a business owner, I didn't take any PPP money, and I regret it at the time.
Yeah.
And now I go back and I realize that's was probably better for the businesses that didn't need it, not to
Yeah.
take it. Because when you started thinking about, remember the company called it was a restaurant group called Lemonade, or no, Shake Shack. Shake Shack took.
Do you remember?
And I remember having businesses try to come on there and talk about it, that they got denied because the allocation for money had been taken by some of the biggest companies that may not have needed it. Now, let's not jump to conclusions. There were some payrolls that had to be met. Some of those companies employ a lot more people than some of these smaller did. But not knowing what you don't know at the time, if you were to change, based on your knowledge now, how it was done, what are the top 3 things you would have changed back then in terms of how the government handled it?
I would have set up the funding mechanism before the Treasury Secretary went online and said, all you have to do is walk into a bank and in 5 minutes you can walk out with money.
That's like yelling fire at a theater.
Yeah.
Right?
There was no truth to that.
Yeah.
It was triage. If you remember, they ran out of oxygen units in hospitals. At the same time, you're running out of PPP funding. So we were allocating as an industry who was going to get those loans.
Hence the triage. You had to
Complete triage.
Unbelievable. And of course, what you're talking about is you had to prioritize.
Yeah, and we were hiring college interns who were sequestered at home, as the term was called. trying to figure out how we're going to fund loans with limited deposits. A week later, the Treasury set up the funding mechanism. But before that, you were out of money as a bank. And so the large banks were doing it based on divisions and most important clients. They got a bad rap for that. Community banks kind of stepped up.
Did they hammer you guys for reserves at that point? Because, at the same time you run out of money, right? There's a double-edged sword for you guys.
It was terrible. If you can't fund the loan, you lose the client. So you have an obligation to take care of your clients. At the same time, people were trying to change banks to get the loans.
And at the same time, you're fighting your own reserves to keep the underwriters happy for the bank regulators at the same time, right?
Not to mention we're less than a year old.
Oh my God.
So
You were?
Oh yeah, we opened in 2018. I think it was around 2019,
man.
2020 when they set that up.
Wow.
Dan Yates
So-
is the CEO of Endeavor Bank, their ticker symbol EDVR. Who's the gatekeeper on all this for the ne'er-do-wells and the people who are thinking, I'll get a quick buck. I'm going to try to get one of these PPP
Or
loans."
was there any?
Yeah,
There was none. Absolutely
Could you
none.
smell a fish at some time, every once in a while? Because you've been banking for a long time, and you know to trust but verify. I get that in your personality. I know about you. I know about you from
I
this town.
discovered a fraud within the first 30 days.
Did you
Okay.
really?
And reported it, and the person went to jail. So it was.
Oh, nice.
It was easy to spot.
Well, I mean, this is like price gouging in the middle of a disaster when somebody's trying to steal money at the expense of somebody else who actually needed
What a
it.
bummer.
Yeah, I think that was. What in terms of security, like Mike brings up, any major changes if this happened again that you would install in terms of metrics right away?
I mean, the thing is, it actually ended up working well at the end. The second round, most companies who qualified received a loan. We had excess funds at the end. The first round, we were out of money in 10 days.
Jeez.
So Congress didn't allocate enough money. They didn't understand the demand, who would be applying. Nonprofits missed out in the first round. Schedule C employees missed out because if they didn't show a profit on Schedule C, which who does? Most Schedule C trying to show a loss. They didn't qualify. So they changed the rules to really figure out who really needed the loans.
Dan Yates, CEO, Endeavor Bank, and of course their ticker symbol EDVR. So happy to have you at the bar here with us.
Thank you.
I have a question. So let's look at the other side of the counter, and that
Yes.
was stimulus. Okay.
Right.
So not for the businesses, but for your customers.
Yeah.
What did that look like as a bank president, seeing, okay, we're taking care of the businesses as best we can since the government gave us a dam with a huge leak in it to start off with. On the PPP side, here we have a ton of liquidity coming into this country. And if you go back to 1940, every time there's liquidity, interest rates follow.
Yep.
Liquidity, interest rates follow. You pump that money in the system. As a banker, and as a venture capital guy talking to bankers, I know how you think. There had to be a point in stimulus number 2 or stimulus number 3 where you knew the shoe was going to drop at some point. What did you see on the consumer side to start, and what did you see as it went along there that made you sort of say, I want to go on vacation for a little bit now?
So the biggest concern we saw as an industry is excess liquidity. It got to the point where you couldn't figure out what to do with those funds as they show up in your bank.
Yeah.
As quickly as that occurred, the opposite occurred. And we had trillions leave the banking industry into treasuries and money market funds. But during those early days...
How tough was that to plan for you guys?
Well, think about the banks that failed. And you go back, let's just take Silicon Valley.
Yep.
They had excess liquidity. So what do? They put it out into long-term bonds because they really didn't understand if
And
that
the interest
money...
rate went the other way. The bond market's inverse relationship. Now they don't have
Well,
reserves.
all you have is history to go on.
Yeah,
and
right.
you have deposits that are now sticking around less than you're used to, and you make investment decisions in your portfolio that aren't based on any historical data.
Well, you nailed it, and that's
Yeah.
exactly right. Because I believe, okay, if you look at the Great Recession,
Yeah.
or as I like to call it from an equity guy, the Great Correction.
Right.
What happened there was we had the derivative market, we had credit default swaps, and
Yep.
really we were making counterfeit shares out of nothing.
Yeah.
We'd sell paper, and then we'd sell paper on the paper, and then take a commission,
Right.
and then take another commission. Next thing you know, it's so dilutive. And I will still tell you, the biggest danger in this country is the derivatives market
Yeah.
to this day. If you look at the other side of the fence in terms of that banking crisis going forward, in terms of liquidity and over liquidity, interest rates killed the consumer, just like the Great Recession killed the equity holder. Don't you think?
Right.
And was that because of liquidity? Was that because we pumped too much money in too fast? Do you think?
I think it had a lot to do with it. When rates went up, most business owners put off their plans to invest in capital equipment, infrastructure, and there was a big waiting period. And so loan demand shrank. Banks are sitting on too much cash. All you can do is put out into bonds at some point, and it created disruption in most banks across the nation.
I got 5 words for you. How are you still standing?
Yeah.
Coming back after the break, we're going to talk about your actual business here for a second. Thanks for giving us top down. Endeavor Bank, Dan Yates, CEO, stock symbol EDVR. We'll talk about being the CEO of a publicly traded company. Also, we'll talk about what you're doing these days because you were ranked first in California, 15th in the nation by CB Resource, named the S&P's top performing bank, top premium bank. We'll tell you what all that means to you in just a second. Big Biz Show, bigbizshow.com. 125 million TV homes strong, and of course, American Forces Network in 175 countries and all the ships at sea. We'll see you in a minute.
We continue for the Lock 100 Studios. Big Biz Show. Hope everybody's having a great day. As always, thank you for tuning in. Here at the bar, Costa, Merritt Godwin, Greg Todorov, our executive producer, and Sully.
I still shake my head every time we say here at the bar because when we started, Rusty Nails and I started the show almost 30 some odd years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Wall Street Journal called us business with a barroom slant.
Nothing wrong with it.
Hence the bar. We're brought to you by Prudential. Let Prudential be your rock for retirement. Also brought to you by Bayer Advanced. Better science, better results. Starbucks coffee. Maybe you heard of them. I'm hopped up on some right now. Bloomin' Brands, their fine family of restaurants, including Fleming Steakhouse, Carrabba's Italian Grill, and of course Outback Steakhouse, where they have authentic Australian food because everyone knows that bloomin' onions are growing on the side of the road on the way to Perth.
100%.
Not to forget, Taylor Guitars right here in San Diego, California. Dan Yates is our guest. He's our CEO of Endeavor Bank, ticker symbol EDVR. Talk about what it means to have a 5-star ranking with Bauer Financial since 2021. This is a inside baseball sort of thing for the rest of the world, but this is a big deal.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Well, the banking regulators give us what's called a CAMELS rating, which no one is allowed to legally ever talk about. So Bowers is the equivalent of that.
Okay.
It's the closest you can get to really understanding how a bank is being run.
What are the metrics?
The CAMELS rating is your capital, how much capital you have, your earnings, the management quality, your liquidity, and basically how you handle risk.
It makes you more sympathetic with your people that are filling out applications, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because they're scrutinizing you the way you have to scrutinize a customer.
Think of a restaurant. Would you walk into a restaurant that had a B or a C?
Well,
hopefully not.
Depends on how hungry I am.
if it was a bar, maybe, Mike, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me about how the banking business, in terms of Endeavor, has changed since the day it started and now? Because there's been a paradigm shift here a little bit in how banking's been done because of regulation, because of government, because of economy. How about you guys? Are you guys still standing steadfast on the original principles, or have things changed? Have you had to change because of technology?
I mean, we're fully into working on AI right now, and that is changing everything.
Now, how is that for underwriting? How would AI help a bank?
Everything from the workflows, how you automate them, how softwares talk to each other, eliminating errors.
Could you guys get any more lonely? When is the last time you walked into a bank?
This morning.
Why?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on, Midwest.
You're the only one.
Hold on, Midwest.
Hey, I'm a brick and mortar guy.
Because you remember when walking into a bank on a Friday, you walk into a bank now, first of all, you sit down.
Yeah.
Those days are gone.
No, so gone.
No more free toasters.
No.
Why don't you just deposit it on a mobile app?
I'll tell you why.
Okay, well, hold on. This should be good here.
Sully, can you take me back to a gentler?
Oh, so hold on.
So there was a time when you could do it on the mobile app.
Oh, hold on. No, excuse me. Was this a gentler time?
On it. This is for corporate accounts.
Okay.
So
bring it back to a gentler time.
If you take it in to a brick and mortar, there's no hold. But if you use the digital.
Oh, is this for the
business?
You were the wrong bank.
Well,
talk to us.
good thing I know somebody.
Just saying.
Here's your application first.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But Dan, to that point, how, is it word of mouth? Like, hey, I've been with Endeavor. You guys, they are kicking. You should be with Endeavor as well.
Pretty sure that's their tagline.
Yeah,
we're kicking.
Sorry.
Yeah, no.
But I'm just saying, as far as people still have a choice as far as financial institutions. Is it just your reputation and the fact that so many people, when people ask, say, yeah, I'm with Endeavor?
I mean, most of our clients are here because of our shareholders.
Okay.
They're business owners in town.
Okay.
So they refer clients to us. But the hold, I mean, you have to know your client.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
You put a hold on a check if you don't know the client. So
If he puts a check in from Greg's Tequila Company,
well,
maybe.
It is a national bank. And it's a situation of when you go through the mobile app, it's handled at a different level. But if you go into the local brick and mortar, they know you, and it's a different.
Here's a question though. You talk about AI, okay? Now, what I was getting to is when I was in college, I could write a $20 check for groceries on Monday, go buy groceries, and it would clear on Thursday. And it was called, by the way, that's a felony. It's called kiting a check. You're not allowed to do that, but everybody did it. There is no float period anymore. There is none. Yeah. There's all digital banking, to Mary's point.
There's a signed float, but not real float.
But how much faster can you get? How much more? Because I would say banking is so efficient now. Because if I can't remember the last time I wrote a check, but if I write a check, I log in the next morning, that check's cleared. Sometimes it's cleared the same afternoon.
Yeah.
How much more efficient can you guys get with banking in terms of, everything's almost in real time now.
It's real time float now. It's clearing immediately.
So is AI helping in that area or is it helping in other areas? Okay.
No, it's more, it starts with the internal efficiency of how we do everything from underwriting loans to sending out proposals, onboarding new clients, which are complicated if it's a sophisticated company. So all of that you're trying to streamline and improve the client experience with AI and workflows automation tools. It's across the board.
With Endeavor and the Bauer Financial, and of course you've got all these other awards going forward. You have Finley Reports tied for first place. You guys are as solid as, probably more solid than the big banks. Are you considered a regional bank at this point? Are you considered
I would say technically yes, because we're now in Los Angeles as well, San Diego. Mm-hmm. But I think of us as a local community bank.
Yeah, and I think that's where the disconnect is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I can tell you, regional banks I think saved a lot of businesses, but local community banks that create relationships still are critical. And I think that they almost went the way of the dodo.
Yeah, the way I think of a local bank is the executive team lives in the community, very involved on local boards, feeling the pulse of the leadership community. A regional bank, typically you're not going to be as involved in every single city that your bank operates in.
Yeah. Plus, right? Regional banks are typically not based in the city that you're in.
Yeah.
What are you looking most forward to here in 2025 now that it seems like, we shut this economy off like a light switch, now it's coming back on like a sunrise. We're going to get through it at some point. Interest rates are going to stabilize at some point. Yep. At some point, we're not going to see the stagflation that we were worried about. You've got a number of things that are moving in the right direction. I think tariffs are going to be temporary, and that's going to give a boost to the markets. But remember, guys, stock market's not the economy. Only about 43% of the universe here in the States participate in the stock market. 100% of us participate in the economy. So what are you looking most forward to? What's the silver lining?
We refer to 2024 as a slingshot. So you think about how you pull a slingshot back, that's investing in infrastructure. Yeah. We increased our workforce by 30%. Mm-hmm. A lot of production team members expanded to another geographic area, LA. Mm-hmm. 2025 is when you see the fruits of the labor. So let go of the slingshot, launch, earnings this year predicted to go up, and it's exciting. This should be a big growth year for the bank.
Any chance you guys grow in other parts of California here, or more locations in San Diego?
God, I hope not. I hope not.
And last question.
Once every couple of years is enough for me.
Last question. Do you think you are better prepared now? Were there to be another PPP site?
Oh, heavens, yeah.
So you got it all figured out?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say that. The government can change the rules.
I don't know. I'm looking at you. I feel like you got it figured out.
Can and will.
Dan, will you come back and see us sometime?
We'd love to.
He is Dan Yates, the CEO of Endeavor Bank. Jet black hair, by the way, before COVID.
Yeah.
Now look at
no color.
Ticker symbol EDVR. Much more to come at the big show.
Thank you.
Loft 100 Studios, The Big Biz Show, our affiliates, and our hosts are not registered investment advisors or broker-dealers.
Our show hosts make no commitment that the purchase of securities of companies profiled or otherwise mentioned in our programming
are suitable or advisable for any persons, or that investment in such securities would be profitable in general.
Given the nature of our company's profile and the lack of an active trading market for their securities, and investing is highly speculative and carries a high degree of risk. We profile selected publicly traded and privately held companies on our program.
Most of these companies that we profile have provided compensation to Loft 100 Studios and its host for the profile coverage.
3, 2, 1. From time to time, we sell shares of the companies profiled in the open market that we receive as compensation for coverage of client companies.
But never sell stock if we are speaking about, interviewing, or covering a public company who has paid compensation.
Specific questions on compensation can be obtained by contacting producer at sullyandgroup.com.
Listeners should verify all claims and do their own due diligence before investing in any securities mentioned on this program.
Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk.
We encourage our investors to invest carefully. Duh.
And read the investor information available on the website.
On the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, at www.sec.gov.
Or the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, at www.finra.org.
Big Biz Show rolls on. We are inside the Loft 100 Studios in Southern California. Those gentlemen on the stage right there, the absolute best in the business. That's the Day Trader Trio. Down here at the bar, it's Costa, it's Mary Bird Godwin, it's our executive producer, Greg Todorov, and of course the man with the plan is Sully.
Well, 125 million TV homes strong across this fine country. And of course, let's not forget American Forces Network in 175 countries and all the ships at sea. Thank you, boys.
Love our military.
Serving our military. TV and radio, and I've got some news for you on distribution coming up very shortly in the next week or so. But in the meantime, who's Brian Kocher, Greg?
I don't know. Let's find out.
All right, Mike.
Brian Kocher is the CEO of SunOpta. Their ticker symbols are STKL. What does TSX stand for?
Toronto Stock Exchange.
That would be Canada. Their ticker symbol up there is SOY. We welcome Mr. Kocher to the Big Biz Show for the first time.
Hey,
Mr.
Brian,
Kocher, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
No, you have no idea what you got into. You're not going to thank us after it's all over.
That's probably true, too.
Hey, it's great when we get, because we're a show. It's so funny this show's been on the air for almost 30 years. And we started off in radio, and it was called the Big Ass Biz Show when I first started.
Big Ass Biz.
Big Ass Biz Show. I'm a grown-ass man.
You just swore on national TV.
Yeah. Wow. So, we were on radio at the time. Okay. And then the program director said, "Hey, we got to take the ass out of it, so it's just Big Biz Show." And it's so funny that it's morphed into something where it's political, it's about music. It is loosely based around business at this point. Yeah, so when we get an actual publicly traded company or a business to actually interview, it's fantastic. One of the shareholders, I believe, contacted Greg Todorov, our executive producer, and said, "You guys got to talk to this company with the stock symbol STKL." All right, and they are in the business of sustainable manufacturing, fueling the future of food. I think what's fueling the future of food is Funyuns and Bako Bits, and not enough of it, and not enough mayo for dipping.
I'm doing my part. I'm trying to do my part.
Brian, I conducted some due diligence on you. This is a really cool company. You guys are at the right place at the right time. Talk about what you guys do for us, would you?
I'm so excited about it. We are a private label and co-manufacturing solutions provider in a better for you food space. So we make private label plant-based beverages, oat milk, almond milk, soy milk. We might do a little bit of broth for someone. We might do some tea. We have some better for you healthy fruit snacks, but it's all about supplying a solution to supply chain challenges that our customers have. And frankly, that's where our growth comes from. We just want our customers to win.
Brian, is this what we would call, God, what do they call that? When you
really good tasting?
Well, no, I know that.
Sorry.
I know there's when brands come to you to manufacture. Is that how it works?
White label?
And they white labels. Is that what's called white label?
100%. So brands will come to us. We'll make it in their brand. We'll make it for a store brand. But again, our job is to solve their supply chain problem. They might need a better taste profile. They might need protein infused in their product. They might need better availability across the U.S. And that's what we aim to provide for them.
Mike, does Funyuns need a different or better taste profile? Taste?
It's fortuitous that Mr. Kocher's on the show because I was literally thinking about that driving up here. Do my Funyuns taste the best that they should? Brian,
you are not going to believe in the innovation pipeline right now. We have Funyun flavored almond milk.
That's right. You know what?
Well, if we go right now, it's coming tomorrow.
He's tearing up.
Brian, I can only take so much greatness. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Thank you so much, sir. But in all seriousness, is there a certain point where you've got to kind of give people the Heisman and say, we really don't want to do that because it doesn't fit our, I guess, company profile of nutrition or what we want to be processing?
Or your best practice is knowledge knows that they're walking into a headwind because they want to make Funyun flavored oat milk.
Yeah, exactly. I may have lost a customer now just by this discussion.
By the way, you watch next month. You watch next month. This damn company's going to have Funyun bacon bit and mayonnaise flavor.
I'll send you my mailing address.
But honestly, you've been at this for a while, though. I mean, you've got to have. I love the fact when people think they're creative, but they're better business people than they are creative, and you're the creative guys and business guys. When they come up with, Mike's got a great point there. How do you kind of regulate best practices with bad ideas with what you think your own brand's going to fit with?
Yeah, well, the good news is we really are trying to solve a challenge for our customers. They often do the market research, and let's just stick with the theme. If Funyun-based almond milk was the next best thing, we would try to help them with that. We've got 21 food scientists who work on all taste profile, nutritional content, even packaging size that might be able to help. So we'd give it a run. I think couple of things that we run into if it's only Mike who's buying the Funyun-sized, a Funyun-flavored milk, that might be a little too small for us.
I don't know. Have you seen the size of the guy?
Well,
he looks like a small farm town over there to me.
That's true. But, for the most part, we are trying to follow the consumer trends. And if Bacon Bits oat milk is the next surprise here, then we'd be all over it.
Hey, let's talk about the company real quick. I know I'm hijacking Mary for 1 second, but you have 1,200 employees. Geographically, where you guys talk about geographic footprint a little bit because
North America for a sales footprint, mostly U.S. for a manufacturing footprint. We do have a small plant in Niagara, Canada. About 1,000 of those employees are in the plant working every day, 24/7 operation. And man, I love our organization. They're super bright. They're receptive to coaching. We coach hard. We try to just get better, a little bit better each and every day. My dad told me a long time ago that I wasn't smart enough to make it real complex. So I just try to be better today than I was yesterday, but better tomorrow than I am today.
Let me one up you, Brian. My dad told me that yesterday.
Well, I tell you, hey, here's the other thing my dad told me, and I don't know why he keeps reminding me of this, but he told me I have a face for radio.
Yes, you do. That's
every day on my birthday.
Hey, real quick before Mary has a question, you have $724 million in sales last year. I mean, would it kill you to kick us down $50K a month for me to say brought to you by SunOpta? I mean, come on.
Let me transfer you to the marketing department. In the meantime, I'm texting
a great CEO. Yeah. Let me get my assistant on that. And then
Brian
puts us on hold and says, "Hey, do we have an assistant?"
Brian Kocher is the CEO of SunOpta, cooking up great things for you, world.
Wow, Mr. Marketing.
Oh my God. Ticker symbols STKL and SOY.
Devin Doan here with the Big Biz Show, and today we're going to talk about banks and failures. Now, two things that you might find synonymous, well, they go together pretty well, but they used to go together better in the 1800s. Then along came the creature from Jekyll Island and the JP Morgan meetup on the secret island, and then for about a century, you didn't really hear too much about bank failure. But in the last year, it's all you hear about. I specifically think it's this guy's fault. So what the hell is going on, Howie?
While I have nothing personally to do with it, regional, smaller banks in the United States have had a tough time for almost a year now.
Why?
Yeah, so when you have smaller portfolios that can't absorb losses and you have illiquid deals, things that you can't just sell out of and take a small hit on, you're stuck with a bad deal. You're gonna have problems.
Have you ever noticed that anything that happens bad to a small community bank kind of sounds almost eerily similar to like some guy that's getting divorced and going through like an alcoholic problem? He's selling himself off, he got dumped.
I have not heard that, but it kind of works, yes. Yeah.
So small community banks, the next single alcoholic stepdads of our nation. More next week with Howie.
They're actually an essential part of the business community, but
so is my drunk father.
We're here at the 2024 Bio International Conference at the San Diego Convention Center, the world's most prominent gathering of industry leaders across all of biotech.
You're watching The Big Biz Show. All right, so we're here to do interviews. Why are we interviewing people here?
Well, we're here to help showcase some of the most innovative biotech companies on the planet that want to show off a little bit and have agreed to do some interviews just for The Big Biz Show.
Oh, nice. Biotech, like flu shots and stuff?
Yes, good job, Devin. That is right. That is technically right.
So you kind of my candy now?
No. Only one a day.
Brought to you by Pfizer, because that's never scared anybody.
We're at the theater area where companies are every 15 minutes coming on to do quick showcases with the latest and greatest of what they have to offer. No, there's so many companies that we have over 10 theaters across a 4-day event every 15 minutes. Lots of showcases, lots to see. We're here with Steve Glover of Zyversa. We just wanted to get a little update. Well, he's a frequent guest on the show, and we're here at Bio Conference 2024.
Yeah,
so, great to be with you.
Good to see you again, Howie. Appreciate it. Yeah, Bio, it's a fun conference for all of us. 15,000 are our closest friends.
Right, definitely. Can you talk a little bit about what you're doing here and what the mission of the company is?
Sure. So Bio is a big event for all of us as a company and as an industry as well, because we get a chance to, meet and talk about the science and the progress. You start your business conversations around collaborations here at the conference, and then in the exhibit, you get a chance to see some of the new technologies that you could use to develop your product. So it's really kind of a one-stop shop, and it's nice. You get to see people from around the world. People from Japan who we're meeting with, people from Europe as well. And it gives a chance for the industry to kind of meet in one spot. It's one of the nicest things that Bio developed about 15 years ago. There's a big exhibition over behind my left shoulder here, and there's probably close to 400 companies here. And those companies are quickly meeting every 30 minutes, providing updates, talking about areas of interest, and path forward. And it really sets up the entire year for you from a development and partnering standpoint. And it's a great way that, I just met with somebody that I've known for 20 years. And we're talking about, development and what we're doing. And, those relationships start at a conference like.
It's the traditional earliest form of viral marketing. So you have the entire industry coming together in one spot to talk to each other, to communicate with each other, and share their biggest breakthroughs of the year. So it really does tend to be where news is made. Devin, we're filming. Back to work.
Talk to you later.
Why?
Brian, what are the competitive advantages of SunOpta?
Oh, I think really when you're providing a solution for a customer, you've got to be really good at service. So we believe we're differentiated on service, and that may mean availability of product. It may mean packaging size. We've got a really wide network in terms of packaging choices. It may also mean that we have flexibility, whether it's oat or almond or soy. We can do all of that. I think the other area, and I mentioned this before, the other competitive advantage is we have these 21 food scientists. Now, I'm going to say this as affectionately as I possibly can. These 21 food science geeks are unbelievable in in supplying ideas, creativity, overcoming challenges that customers have across the spectrum. And they're a very special part of our organization.
Hey, Brian, I got to say, of course they are, because, consumers under pressure, price-wise, tariff-wise, but your categories are growing. So I'm going to let you talk about that. But I also got to talk about the revenue picture here, because if we break down what you did in 2024, and I'm the stock geek. I went back and looked at every press release. I went back and looked at any interview. You said you were going to do what you did, and you actually delivered upon it. So I want to talk about that for a second, and I also want to talk about what you're thinking, in as much as you can, as a CEO of a public company for 2025. Before we get to that, though, comment real fast on the fact that you do have that team you just mentioned, and the fact that we are facing headwinds as consumers, but your categories are growing. What are you doing? I mean, you got something you got a tiebreaker there somewhere, right?
We're blessed in a couple areas. One, the categories are incredibly on trend. Even plant-based beverages. There's some that are just fitness oriented. There's some medicinal purposes. If you're lactose intolerant, you're going to choose a plant-based or a non-milk product. The fruit snacks is better for you. Do they have sugar in them? Of course, it's sugar from apples. I think we can live with sugar from apples. So we're on trend, but I think it gets back to us. We've got a singular mission with respect to customer centricity. We want to solve our customers' problem. If they win, we know we'll win in the long term because we help them do that. And I think combined with the competitive advantages that Mary asked about earlier, I think that's how we roll together. The growth has been really fantastic. We benefit from categories that are growing, but we also like to think that we benefit because we come to work every day, we put our hard hat on, we try to do the best we can, and then we wake up and do the same darn thing the next morning. And to me, that's how you grow a business.
Brian Kocher is the CEO of SunOpta. Their ticker symbol is STKL, also SOY. Brian, final question. Take us through those advantages as far as 2024 revenue, what you've got in sight for 2025, and more importantly, what's that path?
But don't get us in trouble for talking about stuff you're not supposed to.
No, exactly.
Of a public company.
What does the pathway look like?
I've got that tattooed somewhere here that I'm not going to show you on live TV. Hey, look.
Mike has antlers here that say Yuma in North Dakota. So just to let you know. Go ahead.
We're really excited about the categories we operate in. Almost all of them are growing at least 5%, some even more. So we've guided to some long-term growth rates that are 8 to 10% in 2025. We're thinking growth, volume-based growth, by the way. This is, a lot of the growth we're seeing today in consumer products is pricing oriented. We're volume growth because the categories are growing, our customers are growing inside of those categories, and we're here to help them be successful. So I'm looking forward to growth in the 7 to 11% range. And Sully, to your point, we guide to what we see, not what we hope that happens.
Well, Brian,
and because of that, we deliver results.
I was actually going to say to you that hopium has never been your strategy. I'm not kidding. You guys have said what you're going to do and you're deliver. Buddy, you got to come in studio. We need to have you back on a daily basis. I'm not kidding.
As soon as the Funyun oat milk hits the shelf.
Oh, we're flying out there as a taste tester, man.
Ticker symbols are SOY, STKL. It is SunOpta's CEO is Mr. Brian Kocher. Brian, please.
Love it.
Come back on this show. All right, we will also promise to come back. Hey, a lot more Big Biz Show coming your way.